you for staying with us. Now, after years of battling courts and critics, former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko is making a formal return to frontline politics with the National Economic Development Party. For a national figure wrapped in controversy and charisma in equal measures, the former city boss says his party will transform the country. So we ask, will it? We speak to the Secretary General of his party, Ben Mulwa, who is with me in studio and joins us on the broadcast. Ben, good evening, and thank you very much for making time for us tonight.
A very good one to you too, Abubakar. It's been a minute.
More than 2 years, the last time I interviewed you on TV 47.
Absolutely, actually 3 years. I went on a sabbatical and I came back with what I have been working on. I have the political party that is going to form the next government. That is what I've been doing for the last 3 years. And
for context, those previous interviews were because you were the spokesperson of Mike Sonko, then the governor of Nairobi County.
Yes.
You are now the Secretary General of a political party that I believe is a week old now, Ben Mulwa. What does the National Economic Development Party intend to achieve?
The National Economic Development Party is finally the national political party that the people of Kenya have been looking for, Abubakar. And we are extremely clear in our minds that we finally have the platform that every citizen of this country has been looking for, to be able to genuinely participate in the processes of the formation of a government by the people, for the people, devoid of the politics that we have witnessed for the last 6 decades in this country. So finally we have what we have been looking for.
Ben Mulwa, isn't that not what literally every political party says or aspires to say?
It's easy to say something, but it is more difficult to be able to place tangible evidence to support any claims or any allegations. And I'll quickly take you through this. One, there is no doubt on any planet that the removal of Governor Sonko from office was entirely political. The Senate has pronounced itself extremely loudly on the same. We have the accusers of the former governor making it clear that there was undue political influence through the problem. And these are not stories. These are affidavits that have been sworn and presented before the relevant institutions of jurisdiction. But most importantly, we are looking at a situation whereby an individual has finally been able to exercise a constitutional right that does not require permission from anybody to exercise. And that is the foundation upon which we stand today.
Then you're saying the impeachment of Sonko was a political move.
100%.
This case, well documented, went through the hierarchies of courts in the country, from the High Court to the Court of Appeal to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court upheld the decision of the impeachment.
Yes. I have seen some comments made by Senator Cherargei, who by good fortune sat in the same Senate that impeached Governor Sonko, and Senator Cherargei actually voted no in the impeachment of Governor Sonko. And there is a letter I'm sure he's very aware of the Senate withdrawing certain submissions earlier this year, last year, from the Supreme Court, because they were able to confirm irrevocably that the entire impeachment process was a sham. And that is, to a large extent, part of the basis upon which we are confident that eventually the former governor will get justice. But I don't want to turn this conversation to be about the impeachment of the former governor, because we have explicit provisions under Article 193, Sub-Article 3, which says a candidate can only be barred from running for election when they have either exhausted avenues of appeal or avenues of review. And the case that was before Governor, or the case facing Governor Sonko, has an elaborate room for review. So we have a long way to go. Trust me, when Governor Sonko says that this is going to be the game changer in the politics of this country, Mike Sonko is the brand that is informed by disruptive politics. And Abubakar, I can say without a doubt in my mind, what we are going to deliver in this country has never been witnessed since 1963.
Ben Mulwa, you are the Secretary General of the National Economic Development Party. Some have questioned the registration timing of this party. It's coming a year and a half, a year, 8 months to the 2027 consequential polls.
Yes. You know, the rain is always a beautiful thing and sometimes a bad thing depending on the time and the place it finds you. For us, the timing could never have been better. This is a journey that we began in April 2020 when Mike Sonko was still the sitting governor of Nairobi City County. And our basis for the decision to form a political party was founded on a lot of extensive research and an understanding of the history of this country. If you allow me a minute to take you through. Last Friday, this country celebrated 62 years since we attained full independence. There is something that is extremely important Kenyans must refresh their minds to. And sages say that those who do not take time to understand history are bound to repeat it. In 1965, the former minister, the late Tom Mboya, came up with what was called the Sessional Paper number 10 of 1965. And this particular paper outlined 3 critical things. One, the complete eradication, not the management, eradication of disease, poverty, and ignorance. Tragically, when you look at where we are as a country 6 decades down the line, it is a shame that today we still have expectant mothers dying in public hospitals for lack of facilities or similar or assistance that is important or necessary. For the first time since 2003, we are going to witness school children, primary school children, dropping out of school this January because of the mess that we are witnessing in the public education system due to the reduction of capitation, which directly translates to costs directly on the parents. Thirdly, and most importantly, all surveys, either by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, by the Kenya Institute of Public Policy Research and Analysis, by all independent institutions, including agencies that are global, indicate that today the average Kenyan is worse off economically than they have ever been the last 3 or 10 years. And these are the reasons as to why we find the timing of the formation of this party is extremely timely. Because the reason I gave you the background about Sessional Paper number 10 of 1965, the first revolution that occurred in this country was the clamor for independence. Our forefathers fought and lost their lives and their livelihoods, and we attained independence. The second revolution was what birthed the multi-party democracy that we enjoy today, which was enshrined in the 2010 Constitution. The last and final revolution that this country must experience is the economic revolution. And
Ben Mulwa, you are making diagnosis
quite
accurately of Kenya's current and past problems.
Yes.
For a viewer watching this and wondering, you are the Secretary General of a party whose party leader was impeached from office due to leadership and corruption allegations, who was impeached out of office with credibility questions. There clearly is a mismatch, isn't it?
Not necessarily, because you see, at the end of the day, there are 4 things that you cannot hide for too long: the sun, the moon, the truth, and the pregnancy. 4 things that you cannot hide for too long. And the truth always comes out. It doesn't matter how long it takes. And in this particular context, I want us to quickly look through the background of the leadership that we have had in this country since independence, from the times of Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, who was convicted as a Mau Mau and as a terrorist and all that. We had a president elected in 2013, convicted by the International Criminal Court. We had a deputy president elected in 2013, convicted by the International Criminal Court, or indicted by the International Criminal Court. And as I've indicated, the governor has not exhausted avenues of addressing that.
One will wonder, Ben Mulwa, yes, are you not adding another to the litany of the...
No, not at all. I think every Kenyan, and that is extremely fundamentally or extremely fundamental in the structure of our constitution. Right. Article 51 talks about fair administrative action. Okay. And it is important that until and unless a matter is conclusively concluded, we cannot rush to indict anybody on this, because you remember by 2013 those opposing Uhuru and Ruto were very categorical that we cannot elect criminals. But when they were able to extricate themselves from these allegations, then a lot changed. So my take would be myself and Abubakar, and probably the viewer today, are not the people to ultimately make that determination. Okay. We have judicial systems that
we have exhausted on that question, yes, of the impeachment and the credibility question. Yes. Let's move to the future. Your party leader says, and I quote, "This is the party to watch. We are building a movement that will help form the next government." For purpose of clarity, this next government is of 2027 general election or 2032?
2027. Who are we waiting for 2032? We have a general election coming up in 2027. The levels of disgruntlement and the levels of dissatisfaction by Kenyans cannot be gainsaid. But most importantly, I also want to run you through something very quickly. When you look at the 2022 general elections, the IEBC had a register of about 23 million Kenyans. The current president, William Ruto, won that election with 7.1 million votes. The late BAMBA, God bless his soul, came second with 6.1 million votes. And these numbers are extremely important for Kenyans to understand why we are in the mess and the crisis we are in today. Out of that, the numbers that participated, only 14 million voted. An entire 9 million Kenyans, who are more than the number that voted for either the president or the second or the runners-up, did not find any possibility of any hope either in Kenya Kwanza and William Ruto, and they did not find any hope or any future in the Azimio coalition. Now, very quickly, to come back to where we come from. This is the lot in Kenyans who are looking for a credible, authentic alternative to take this country forward.
Ben Mulwa, because of time, let me ask you this. Yes. You say we are not waiting for 2032.
No,
it's
we are not.
2027 that your party is eyeing. Needless to ask, is Sonko the preferred presidential candidate then?
That is a very tiny bridge that we shall cross when we get there. The presidential party nomination shall be in April 2027. We are still in December 2025. Let's enjoy Christmas. But let's have that conversation. But
given that he is the high-ranking politician currently in the party.
What I can give you for a fact, without a doubt, is that the National Economic Development Party shall be fielding a presidential candidate, shall be fielding candidates for 47 county governments as governors, as senators, as women representatives, 290 members of the National Assembly, and 1,450 members of the county assemblies. Who those candidates will be shall be determined once we get to that bridge.
I repeat again. Yes. This party, you say, will have a presidential candidate on the ballot? Yes,
we will have a presidential candidate on the ballot.
But you are not necessarily sure of who it will be?
This presidential candidate, for your quick information, NEDP is political party number 92. And in existence, we found 91 political parties. And I can guarantee you the contest that will be there in August 2027 will be 91 versus 1.
Okay.
Kenyans versus the past. It will be just that simple.
Ben Mulwa, some have interpreted the launching of the National Economic Development Party as a spoiler party for Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka in the larger Ukambani region, Nairobi and Taita Taveta. I'm sure you must have had critics point to that.
One, that is, in my view, a very flawed assessment informed by lazy thinking. It is a tragedy. When Kenya attained independence in 1963, at least we were ruled by a party called KANU, which had the name National in it, Kenya African National Union. Since 1963, we have totally deteriorated in terms of political hygiene and political party formations in this country. And we have reached a stage whereby we have continued to balkanize this country, informed by a lot of primitivity that only serves to the selfish interest of a few individuals at the expense of the citizenry. And I'll give you a quick example. At least at independence, political party formations were purely on the basis of ideology, either socialist or capitalist or a blend of the same. Today, the kind of political party formations we are looking at are informed by, we need a political party for watu wa Pwani, we need a party for watu wa Ukambani or watu wa Masaini, and that is retrogressive. And it cannot be the basis upon which we want to build a country. We have reduced Kenyans to basic commodities. It's like we are at the Kimalel goat auction, whereby mimi nakuja na kuambia niko na mbuzi 4, wewe uko na mbuzi 7, mwingine ako na mbuzi 10. We must desist from that politics. And very quickly to also add on to that misplaced ideology or notion that we are interfering with anybody's vote. The last time I checked, Abubakar, even the President of the Republic of Kenya only has 1 vote. Even by virtue of holding the highest office in the land, he does not have 2. So hakuna mtu anaweza simama Kenya hii aseme kwamba kuna mtu akona kura ya mwingine. Every political party, the 92 registered, legitimately registered, will be given an opportunity to present their ideology, their manifesto, their plans before the people of Kenya. And ultimately, it is the individual citizens of this republic who will determine what they want to run with. In the meantime, there is nobody, we cannot afford even to be, just a moment, it is very important because we have citizens watching from the 47 counties across this country, and they must be convinced that that misinformation is baseless. Our journey, as I indicated to you, started 5.5 years ago, and it did not have in mind, in fact, even then, we did not know that ultimately Kalonzo Musyoka would have the opportunity to run for president today. We did not have in mind the ruling party and many other factors. So all of us...
In a nutshell, you are faulting the critics and the notion of your critics.
That is lazy thinking that we cannot ascribe to.
So this party is not a spoiler party?
No, we are not. We are presenting an agenda to the people of Kenya, and the people will be able to evaluate, make an assessment, and make an independent decision. If you choose to stick with the past, we are fine with that. If you choose to walk with us into the future, we would be very happy to be a part.
And we wish you the very best in that future, Ben Mulwa. This is the first of, I suppose, many interviews as the party takes shape. Ben Mulwa is the Secretary General of the National Economic Development Party. That's it for the interview. Let's get to the world of sports.